Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at Aleo. So recently, obviously the profitability has been going up. This kind of came out maybe 2 weeks ago, and the profitability has been relatively good for the first couple of days, and then it dropped off. And as you can see here, it's even higher than it previously was. Now, one thing that has been going around is that the calculations for Aleo, at least on Hashrate.no or any of the other calculation websites, are basically wrong. And those people who mined Aleo through this time have actually got a lot of profit from it. That's probably because people were jumping off the network because they didn't see the profitability correctly, and that's made people basically jump off the network. And in that time, if you'd had your rigs on Aleo, you would have been earning a lot more in profitability. So there are a couple of people out there that did stick it on. I know Red Panda Mining was on there and a bunch of other people, but they stuck their rigs on Aleo even when the profitability calculators didn't necessarily show it being profitable. I don't know whether that was on accident or on purpose, to be perfectly honest with you. But as you can see here, they have now updated. I don't know if they are particularly the correct figures right now, but you can see profitabilities in the range of $2 for a 4090, which we haven't seen for probably the last maybe 2, 3, 4 months for a 4090. And then as we go down, basically everything is profitable on Aleo right now, even going down into the 30 series cards that we see here. And then Claw is the most profitable for AMD cards, it seems. But this video is not necessarily about GPU mining, it's about the Bitmain miners, which possibly could be coming onto the Aleo network very, very soon. So Aleo obviously teamed up with Coinbase, they got it listed. We've talked about this in a previous video, how I think it's shady, and they probably allocated a bunch of coins there. And obviously they gave out 75 million tokens for the education grants. So this is when you're on Coinbase, you can do those educational things, and you go through a bunch of questionnaires about a coin, and then it gives you a little portion of the coin supply. So Coinbase have been doing this for quite a while. I don't know if any other exchange does do it. But clearly they're in conversations with Coinbase and they've handed over a certain proportion of the supply to actually get it listed or to do this grants and education program. So that's interesting to note firstly, but then the main thing that we're going to be looking at today is Bitmain's plan to launch an Aleo Antminer. So this was back in October 23rd of 2023. So pretty much going back a year now. I believe that Aleo was in a testnet phase at that point, but Bitmain had plans to launch the Aleo Antminer at some point. So it just goes on to say how they utilize zero knowledge proof, and I did kind of explain this in the last video. And in the future, Bitmain will continue to adhere to the vision of creating a better digital world, whatever. So what you can assume from this is Bitmain either really like the technology and see it going somewhere, or they were paid a bunch of money to actually create and develop this in a partnership with the Aleo token programmers or developers. This is an article from the same day. It says that Aleo's layer 1 blockchain to get Bitmain mining support. So according to a recent Bitmain post, the company intends to introduce a miner compatible with the forthcoming blockchain network Aleo. And the Power blockchain is currently in testnet mode, so at the time it was in testnet mode. I believe what we're seeing from these past couple of days is it going over to mainnet, and that's when a lot of people started mining it. And then it says here, to support the prosperity of the Aleo ecosystem, Bitmain plans to launch the Aleo Antminer. This has not really been seen too much from Bitmain in the past. Even with kaspa coin miners, they never formally announced like they're in a partnership with them or that they're going to be doing this in the future. They were never like at the start of kaspa coin saying, oh, we're going to develop for kaspa coin, you can just mine on GPUs or FPGAs in the meantime. They haven't really done this with any other coins, at least that I'm aware of. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. But it just seems like the gap is going to close very quickly for GPU miners on the Aleo network. Now, I'm not sure when this is actually going to come in, but you can bet that when Aleo hits a certain price, Bitmain are going to come on and announce the Aleo Antminer, whatever they want to call it. And it's probably going to be very, very profitable, obviously, because they want to sell miners. That's their whole business. So once the price hits a certain amount, they're going to come out and say, look at how profitable this miner is, and then they're going to sell their Antminers. As we've already seen, this is from a year ago, so by now I was willing to bet that they've already fully developed an Aleo Antminer, because I'm assuming it's the same algorithm, and they probably just have it in waiting, ready to go. They have all the architecture down. They just need to manufacture and produce it all. And as I said, that's probably going to come when the price of Aleo kicks back up. So currently it's at $6.53, so very profitable for GPU miners at the moment, at least with the top end GPUs. These are actually really good profits when we're looking at it, and I've seen profitabilities be way higher in the past for Aleo mining. But at this price level, it can kind of sustain that amount of miners. Now, F2 pool is, I believe, the only pool you can mine on. But when we look on the, what would we say, max, it's only been a couple of days, but this is, it started off at around $4 and then comes all the way up to $6. I don't know whether this is to do with some sort of exchange pumping the price, or it's just to do with cryptocurrency being up across the whole board at this moment. I'm willing to bet it's more the cryptocurrency being up across the board at the moment. But this coin is probably going to go further, I believe, in price. It's not just going to follow Bitcoin for the next couple of months. I believe it's going to go quite higher. As I said in the previous video, I would recommend mining it and putting it back into something else. There's a lot of money invested into this coin in terms of development. Obviously, that partnership with Coinbase, they're going to be wanting to make money on the coins that they were allocated, so on and so forth. So you can kind of expect this price to go up in the future. Now, would I be holding it forever? Probably not, because it does look like it's mainly controlled by a smaller supply of developers, you know, strategic partners, whatever that means. But in the future, I think maybe, I don't know, when it hits $20, because I can see it hitting $20 pretty quickly if we have a nice bull run here. There's probably going to be Bitmain coming out with ant miners, and the profitability is probably going to be through the roof at the time. But we might be also looking at kind of like a Cardano situation where Cardano was massive. Bitmain were selling a bunch of Cardano miners, and pretty much all of them are unprofitable at this time. So if this hits $20, obviously the profitability, there's going to be more hash rate on the network, but the profitability would look good for GPUs, and it would look amazing for ant miners or at least ASICs from Bitmain. Now it begs the question, is any other ASIC company going to try to develop an ASIC and get it out first? You know, we've seen a lot of companies come in to the ASIC scene, at least lately, and try to get the first miner out there. We had Dragon Ball for Radiant, and then we had Gold Shell for Alephium, and then Ice River comes out with an Alephium miner. Maybe Ice River have it in development. They come out with a Radiant miner as well. So I believe that a lot of ASIC companies, or at least the top 3-4, have developments for a bunch of coins, and they're just kind of waiting for the price to tick up, and then they're going to release their ASIC miners for it. It's kind of how it's been in the past. And then lastly, when we look here, Aleo is putting out around 600,000 in emissions, which is really, really high, because Kaspa coin is putting around double that, but Litecoin below it is putting around 3 times less than what you're seeing on Aleo. So it also begs the question, like, how far can this go? People were saying it's going to be the Ethereum for GPU miners again. We don't really know how that's going to work, but Ethereum was at least a little bit more fair launched than you would have on Aleo right now. So let me know in the comments whether you think Bitmain are going to come out with an Aleo ant miner very soon. Let me know if you think they already had it in development and are just waiting for the price to go up to actually sell these to miners at a decent profitability or price range for them. Make sure you like the video and subscribe for more content like this.